Dan Orlovsky is not in the building with us, but he is in Spinny's crosshairs.
Dan Orlovsky was on today. I don't know if it was NFL Live or whatever show he was doing, First Take, whatever it was. And he gave his thoughts about how to attack this Detroit Lions defense and how to eventually beat the Detroit Lions. And here's what he had to say.
What's one thing, Dan, that could halt a deep playoff run, maybe a Super Bowl run for the Lions?
Opportunity. You defensively give me, as an offensive person, plenty of opportunity to take shots downfield. If I was an offense going against the Lions, I love them. I take 3 shots a quarter. I take 3 shots a quarter. If you're going to continue to line up and play press man against me or any form of man, we're taking our shots. And as good as their secondary has been at times this year, they don't have 4 Darrelle Revises. Right. They don't have 4 Patrick Surtain Juniors. This is a group that is good, not great, and I would take shots at them all game.
I just come on, Dan. Come on. This is the best secondary in football. You don't need 4 Patrick Surtains. And here's what Jeremy Reisman put out there. In those situations, they've faced the 4th most deep shots in the NFL already this year. So that's not breaking news that's how you attack the Detroit Lions defense. They're 7th in yards per play allowed. They're 3rd in EPA per pass, 1st in average separation, and 4th in quarterback pressures when you try to go deep on them. So, Dan, let me tell you this. Look at me right in my eyes here, Danny boy. If you want to attack 3 deep shots per quarter against this Detroit Lions secondary, you're not going to get 2 of those back. Because I don't know if you know this, but they've got Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, who are arguably the 2 best safeties in the National Football League, patrolling the deep thirds. So if you want to go out there, because I understand what you're saying. You got to do it. You kind of got to do it because you're not going to run the ball against the Detroit Lions defense, especially when that defensive line is healthy with Josh Pascal and DJ Reader and Lee McNeil and all those boys. If you're going to take shots down the field and you're going to do it at the volume that Dan Orlovsky wants you to do it 3 times per quarter, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are going to take those balls away. You're not going to come down with those balls. And on top of that, you have the best graded cornerback in the NFL since week 9 per PFF in Carlton Davis. So, yeah, maybe he is not Patrick Surtain or Darrelle Revis, but since week 9, he's been the best cornerback in football. So, test the secondary if you want. Test these guys if you want. But I'm telling you, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph will come down with more of those balls than your guys will if you try to attack them 3 times a quarter deep down the field. Please do it. Please do that. I'm just saying.
I'm not mad at him within the context of the question. He was asked, what would you do against Detroit Lions defense? And to be honest with you, you're not running the football on them. That's been proven 2 years now. What's new is the secondary. Like, the secondary success is new. So, if I'm an offensive coordinator, I'm going to try it out. In the context of the question, like I understand. So I'm not mad. But you're absolutely right. I mean, there's not really a correct answer for it, though, Smitty.
I think the correct answer
defense has been that damn good. This defense has been that damn consistent. There's not one weakness you can have outside of, like, okay, let's test out this man coverage.
Yeah. I think you look at what the Rams did and you look at what Tampa Bay did, and those were quick-hitting short passes. That's the only way you're going to be able to attack this defense. Yeah. Is get the ball in your hands, your playmakers, and hope somebody misses a tackle. They're probably not going to, but that's what you got to hope for. If you try to attack them, they're an all-right secondary. Go check the stats, Dan. They're better than all right. They're one of the best secondaries in the NFL. So I don't agree with that. If I was taking the objective take and you asked me what's one thing you could do to attack this Detroit Lions defense, I would say you hit them with quick hitting passes, get the ball out of your quarterback's hands fast, get into the hands of the wide receivers, and let them try to make something happen. Because you're not going to run the ball, and those deep downfield shots aren't working how you think they are, apparently.
Yeah, and doing that, I probably, if I'm going against Detroit Lions, just strategically, I'm definitely doing that. I feel like that works almost against any team. We kind of see it with our team in some sense, right? But in doing that, I would test out at least 4 times that game while having you in the routine of us going short and sweet, that deep pass just to kind of catch you, on your heels a little bit. Because if one of them connects, it automatically changes the way you're calling that defense. Because you're keeping an eye, okay, they're doing this every once in a while. Like, you're just going to keep an eye out for that moving forward. Just, again, look, if I'm playing the Detroit Lions, this defense is the best I've seen, I want to maybe say ever. And if not, since what, 2013, 2014, when Sue and Fairley were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
But at that point, too, you also had 2 superstars. Lee McNeil's very good, but like, not Dominic and Sue. We're doing it as a complete team unit, and Jack Campbell's coming along so great. I think one thing, I know we said it on Herman's show when we were on with him, but I just look how many position coaches we've gone through on that defense. I'm talking about from we had former Detroit Lion Dre Bly. Before him, we had Aubrey Pleasant. 2 secondary coaches, gone. There was a linebacker coach before Kelvin Shepard, gone. It was defensive line coaches. I think it was John something last year. Now we got Terrell Williams. I love Dan Campbell's faith in Aaron Glenn to not question him and his philosophy, but the guys passing it on to where that they got rid of them. And now they finally got those right guys bought into AG's scheme and philosophy, and now you're seeing the fruits of that labor. You got position coaches that actually give a shit or care about what they're doing, what they're running, and that's infectious, and it runs through the players because they're able to believe and buy into the system as well, too. It's like we said on the Herman Show. You do your job. As a linebacker, this is your zone, this is your scheme, this is your fit, that's what you do. Don't worry about what the safety has to do. Don't worry what the cornerback has to do. Like, if everyone plays their role, everything else will fall in line. And we've seen that tested, Spinney, to the point where we've had fucking people off the street starting at the linebacker positions. We had people, our secondary guys, Dorsey, Vildor, it's all still worked because everyone's bought into that scheme of philosophy, and it goes to the position coaches too.
And if you're going to try those deep shots, like those deep developing plays, look out for, I don't know, DJ Reader, Ali McNeil, Zadarius Smith. Muhammad was getting back there pretty nice. You got Jamal Williams, or Jamal Adams, who's going to start coming on more blitzes as it gets involved in the defense. So I just think that's objectively false. That's not the way you should attack this Lions defense.
There really is no great way to attack this Lions defense, so that's why I go back to our 2 losses, our last 2, and it doesn't happen often. We don't lose games anymore. This Detroit Lions team is an absolute juggernaut. But in those 2 losses, 2 quarterbacks did something specific. They got out and ran on big third downs. Baker, 5 for 34 in the Tampa Bay game. Purdy, 5 for 48 in that NFC Championship game. It was not being able to contain a quarterback that has the athleticism to scamper out on a big third down as they continue to run the clock and continue on their drive. That's how you somehow beat this Detroit Lions team, which it's so hard to contain the quarterback for that long, especially if they're that athletic, but it's making sure that the Detroit Lions are not on offense, and that's what those teams were able to do.
That's a great point. I think the running quarterbacks they've been a thorn in our side, and that's what happens. You play that man coverage scheme, right? You guys are locked into one guy. They're away from the play, all those other guys, and your quarterback can make a play. That's what you have to do, and that's why you look at Lee McNeil. Hopefully, I don't know if he'll be available for this matchup, but a DJ Reader, like, you fill those gaps. And because at that point, he has to swing around to make that play. He has to roll out to make that play. At that point, guys are on alert. Hey, this guy's out of the pocket. He's going to try to make something happen over here. Unless he's a complete dipshit, or Josh Allen, honestly, he's probably talented enough to throw across his body and doing that. But that's like the defensive line roles at that point, because we're not going to do a spy. We're not going to play too much zone. It's up to the defensive line to stop Josh Allen. But the reality is about that situation, too, there's no really real answer to stopping mobile quarterbacks. You just don't know when it's going to happen.